Going live in 3, 2.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Now, sadly, this is one more day without Sarah Lane, which is 2 more days without Sarah Lane than I would prefer, but it's what we have to deal with. She's on her assignment. She will be back tomorrow. She misses us too. She misses you. And everything will be back to normal tomorrow. But we do have Scott Johnson and Amos with us on Good Day Internet today.
Yeah, we got a dude party going on here. I like it.
Yeah, it's a little bit duty in here. Sorry about that. Duty?
A little duty in here. Sure.
Hey, dude.
Always good to be here. I never get to be on with Amos, so it feels fun to hang out with him today as well. I mean, I see you every week, but
Yeah.
It's always I'm always busy on Wednesdays, so I can never join in, and then it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, and
no, that's
Amos,
awesome.
of course, is our intern
for now.
Which I always feel weird calling you an intern because you intern, in my experience, stereotypes as like young kid in college, and you're like far more experienced and dare I say valuable than that.
You're worth at least 3
Yeah.
kids. Nice job.
What do you
3
know? I
traditional
was an
kids.
intern, and I was quite valuable, but
I know you were. You were the exception that proved the rule, Roger.
Well, then there was also Dan Mitchell and Margot Showers. There's a bunch of interns.
Nicole Lee was one of my interns.
Oh, really?
She was actually an intern for for Steve, who did the news section of the website, but he reported to me, so she was in my group.
Well, look at her now. She's awesome.
I know, right?
Good job, Tom. You under your tutelage, under your wing.
No credit for that. That was all Steve, but yeah.
All right. I just wanted to say tutelage. I love that word.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Easy there.
Don't tutelage your own horn.
I don't get to use it very often, so there was my chance. I took it.
Man, I wonder if internships, like if I would still do them, knowing what I know now. Like, oh yeah, I'd totally be an intern. Or, no, I'm cynical. I know they just want to exploit you and then roll you.
Like if you were at the opportunity for an internship.
Yes.
Where that's like, yeah, that's what I need right now. But knowing what you know about internships.
Because
maybe you have a perspective on that.
Yeah, let's clarify. This is not a typical internship where I'm fresh out of high school trying to learn a skill. This is an opportunity for me to wear sweatpants instead of my uniform for the last several months of my enlistment, and to learn from the people that I look up to in the world of podcasting, which is where I want to work as I transition to normal civilian life. So,
because it's a joint internship for Subbrilliant LLC, which is the company that runs Daily Tech News Show, and Infinite Gain, which is Jenny Josephson's company.
Right. Yep. So I'm getting a little bit of both sides of it, and Jenny has more of the traditional news stuff, and then you have more of the tech news and kind of like the slim and easy rundown kind of thing. And it's
Jenny teaches you about the business of podcasting and arrangements and coordination and logistics, and I teach you how to do my show.
I think of it more that
these might be more widely applicable.
Yeah. Jenny is more the broad scope, and you're more like the fine-tuned machine.
Narrow scope.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the crackling on the Discord audio, Beatmaster. I just need to replace those cables.
Oh, you got a cable thing?
Yeah, there's a little cable short because they bend down going down to the machine they go to. So
I gotcha.
Hopefully I jiggled them. Hopefully that helped.
Jiggly cables.
Jiggly.
My Behringer mixer has recently developed 2 new crackles in the dials, one in the headphone dial and one on yet another channel. So now I have like 6 of my little rheostats that crackle as I go up and down on the volumes or gains.
Yeah, I mean, I never had a whole lot of luck with the Behringer stuff that I've had. And I don't want to slag on them because they weren't awful, but I definitely had more issues with them than I have with Alesis or Mackie.
Yeah, I mean, they were originally designed to be economy in its budget.
Yeah, I think for the price, they're very good. because they are economical.
If you're so inclined, I think that there is a couple of forums that show you how to replace all the pots on Behringer stuff, but it might be more work than is.
So that might get rid of some of the crackle.
Well, it's basically the pots are wearing down because
causing some little shorts and stuff.
Well, this is the mixer that survived the earthquake and had something fall on it during several things fall on it.
Yeah, it's still working at all, right? Go Behringer.
So but I think what it is I've already eyed my next mixer, and I'm looking forward to getting it when the time comes. And I think the Behringer knows that and is trying to give me fits as it goes out.
Yeah, the Behringer, like Tom Behringer, famed actor, really not working out in his later years. So fighting you all the way.
Economical though.
Yeah, oh yeah, very. You want to make a
work for nothing,
principal or whatever that was called, or the substitute. That was it.
The Substitute.
Yeah, did you ever see that movie?
Is that the one where the student is psycho, or
it's basically no, he plays a substitute teacher that's basically terrorists come to the school that day.
Oh,
it's Die Hard in school. That's what it is.
I mean, I should have figured with Tom Behringer. That's one of those movies.
I'm
thinking of one of those Alicia Silverstone movies where she's like, where's the one where she gets like a chip in her head and she turns into a robot?
Oh,
Citizen Kane.
I forgot. I know what you're talking about though.
But basically, this guy's girlfriend dies, and he tries to revive her by implanting the CPU from his robot, like his Project Robot, into her.
Yeah,
and then she starts going killing everyone.
I saw the first half of it because she starts confusing memories and things like that. Yeah,
it's like RoboCop, but not as fun.
Yeah. Hilarity ensues after that, for sure.
Talk about someone who peaked too early. Alicia Silverstone.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Now she chews food and spits it in her. Oh, she did.
She's still doing that, but yeah.
Hi, Mom, I'm 20.
It's entirely possible, I suppose.
Do you do that for your grandchildren, Scott?
No, I only have one, by the way. I just have the one.
I just assume it's a precedent for many. Someday.
Well, it could be, yeah. No, we'd made a lot of jokes early on about, hey, Taylor, when this baby comes, you're not going to feed him out of your mouth. Dad, that's gross, man.
And then she totally did it.
Yeah. So I was like, on the one hand, it was my way of saying, haha, joke, that's funny. And on the other hand, it was like me of secretly saying, don't freaking do that.
Please don't do that. In case there was any chance.
Yeah. This is all true.
I can't imagine there was much of a chance. Taylor seems pretty smart.
She's pretty smart. That kid sleeps 12 hours a night. He is like the happiest kid I've ever seen. She's very good about it.
Yeah, you lucked out.
Yeah, don't say that around Patrick Beja. Wow.
No, he hates it when I talk
kids
about
don't sleep.
I'll bring that stuff up and he's like, shut up.
I've got a 2.5-year-old coming into the house this weekend.
Oh, very nice. You going to be what do you want? Your uncle? Oh yeah, uncle. Nice.
Yep, I'll be Uncle Tom. Go ahead.
I say that all the time, Tom.
What are you talking about? What does that even mean? I don't even know.
Kids, be wary of Uncle Tom.
Now, Scott, I have to ask the question that just begs to be asked. When is the grandson going to be the new town crier?
That will happen. Guaranteed that happens. I just have to wait until he can say the word.
Yeah, the crying has to be a little more under control, huh?
Yeah, and that's to be directed and not actual baby crying. So, he had 21.
Town crier.
He's 21 weeks old today, which means he can have alcoholic milk, I guess, and not get carded. I don't know.
If you just leave milk to sour, it becomes intoxicant, as portrayed in the movie Alien Nation.
Oh, I knew you'd have a.
You ever watch that movie, Alien Nation?
Yeah, I loved it.
That was the whole thing, is they got drunk off sour milk.
We got to autopilot that thing.
Alien Nation, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I think that may be on our. Did we not do that one? Wait a minute. Did we do that?
I don't think we. Well, maybe
we did it.
Maybe we did. Maybe we did.
Hold on.
There's the movie, and then there's the show, and maybe we did the show, and I just don't remember.
You know what I'm most excited about? You switching to that other system instead of Discord for Current Geek?
Yeah.
Is for some reason on Discord, when I would try to look up stuff on the web, it would make my connection stutter.
Yeah, it stuttered out sometimes.
Yeah.
Mine does that too.
So I would never be able, like just now I felt a pause of like, ooh, I probably shouldn't look it up.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, oh no, I can. I'm not on Discord streaming. Well, I'm on audio streaming, but not video. And now I just realized, oh, and I can actually look this kind of stuff up now anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty
So
cool.
what did we do? We didn't do Alien Nation. Current Geek, by the way, folks, if you don't know, is a show that Scott and I do once a week where we just touch on different kinds of geeky topics every week. We watch like the greatest films of all time from a geeky perspective. We talk about pilots of television shows. This week, we just kind of did a general geeky news roundup. So the autopilot episodes is what we call the ones where we talk about a pilot. And we're looking to see if we talked about.
Well, for those not familiar, it used to be this show unto itself.
Right.
Talk about pilots, and now we do it twice or once a month, and it's so much fun because the problem is like we got to look way back and see if it was part of that original run or when we did it. Because I don't.
We used to just talk about people who flew planes. That was not terribly popular, except among people who flew planes. So we switched it to talking about pilots of television shows.
Well, I mean, technically, there were people who weren't flying planes.
This is true.
Right.
You make a fine point.
That is a fair point.
Which might have been why it didn't flesh out.
Yeah, that's probably it. We did Puchinsky.
Oh, I remember Puchinsky. That thing wasn't even, you had to get it on YouTube. We had no other way of getting that thing. It was like some YouTube transfer.
I could have sworn we did something.
I think we may have wanted to and just never did.
I just remember watching Alien Nation's pilot episode. But it must have been for another reason. Yeah, because I don't see it on here.
Alien Nation was a movie that also became a TV show on Fox.
Yeah, it started as a movie and it was hard R, and then the show was like super watered down. And I think the same guy played the alien, but the human was different.
Yes, it was not Matt Singer. It was the guy who was also in that, not Tromaville, New Moon movie. Is that the other? The other? The robot jocks.
Yeah, I remember
Robo
that.
Jocks.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to
Batfink 2001, we did do Airwolf. I don't think we ever did Blue Thunder.
We absolutely did Airwolf.
Blue Thunder movie was good. The TV show basically recycled all the footage from the movie, but they kept the helicopter, but it was static.
Yeah.
And that, this is the interesting thing. Dana Carvey played the Jaffo in the TV series. So if you want to see Dana Carvey in a serious role,
yeah,
I guess it's a serious role.
Serious-ish.
Yes.
I was just recently looking through DVDs and I ran across the V, and I was all excited, and then I realized it was a TV show, not the original miniseries, and I was upset with myself.
The miniseries was great.
Well, they were both TV shows, but I know what I know what you're saying. Like once it became just the week to week, it wasn't nearly as good.
What's the name Bachman one had potential.
The new one.
It started off all right, and then it lost me. About 6 episodes in, I think.
Yeah.
Plus, the old miniseries really knew how to make a lady eating a gopher. That was amazing. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, for the TV show, it wasn't as ominous or scary. You know what I mean? Because it was after the fact of the miniseries, so it's like, okay, well, we can effectively fight back. So there wasn't that whole, oh my God, we're gonna like all be, under.
Yeah, there's nothing left to really reveal. It was just kind of laid out.
And then they went some weird quasi-religious thing. And
that's when it started to get,
It's too bad. I think the premise is strong. And we don't have good alien shows on anymore.
Well, I mean, Perfect Strangers?
That's old and only in archive form. I mean, like new. Give me something new. Perfect Strangers is your answer.
Is there a reboot of Perfect Strangers, or are you talking about the original?
I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, this is what I love about Roger, because he's not wrong. That show is great, and it was a dumb alien thing, but
it's like a fish out of water.
Scott was saying there's none on now currently.
Well, there's I guess Krypton, but they're all aliens in that.
Oh, right, yeah, no, it's an all right one. I watched a few of those.
If they're all aliens, are they aliens?
Well, because they're on the planet Krypton.
Right.
Oh,
so they're not. I mean, they're aliens, but they look like humans.
They look like everyone from Smallville.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a quick comment before we start. I tried to watch Riverdale, and I kind of want to die, so I just want to throw that out there. That's
you have to start from the beginning, and if Oh,
I hate it. I hate it.
you have to understand the dark humor and the tongue-in-cheek nature of it.
Oh, I get it. It's pretty people being stupid. It's basically the WB writ large. I hate it. I hate it.
CW.
Sorry, CW, whatever it is now. Paramount Network.
The frog
what
is no
time it
longer
is.
there.
Oh, hey, look at the time it is, Tom. It's time.
Oh, is it? All right. Scott, would you like to read line 3 today?
I'm going to read line 3 if it's okay with you.
If it's okay with you, I'd like you to read line 3.
Great, I'm in.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2.
Severin Pick has supported independent tech news directly for 5 years. Be like Severin. Become a DTNS member at patreon.com/DTNS.
This is the Daily Tech News for Wednesday, June 26, 2019 in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Merritt.
Oh, I guess I'll go next. In Salt Lake City, Utah, because Sarah's not here, I'm Scott Johnson.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
Yes, Sarah Lane out for one more day. She'll be back tomorrow. Hang in there, folks. She's coming back. But we have some good news and bad news about robots taking your jobs. Let's start with a few tech things you should know. U.S. chip maker Micron has resumed some shipments to Huawei despite U.S. restrictions. And in fact, Intel and a few others have as well. The New York Times says goods made outside the United States may not be considered U.S. made and therefore not subject to the restrictions, even if the company's in the U.S. Micron cautioned that it is unable to predict volumes of these shipments, how long this will last. But Huawei is Micron's number one customer, and the restrictions have cost Micron as much as $200 million in missed sales. So you can understand the motivation.
We have a gigantic Micron plant right here in Utah. Anyway.
Well, none of the stuff they're making is going to Huawei.
No, it is not. Apple confirmed it has acquired Drive.ai, which has been running autonomous shuttles to Texas. Drive.ai has filed papers with the state of California that it will cease operations and lay off all 90 of its employees. It is unclear whether Apple will hire back those employees, but it will get Drive.ai's assets.
Cover your assets. Apple is expanding its business chat feature to the 820,000 or so merchants on Shopify. So if you are a merchant on Shopify and you enable the service, it'll show an iOS message button on every page of your Shopify site, which as a consumer, you can click on to just send messages and ask questions. You can pay for the purchases using Apple Pay from within the conversation, just like you would with a lot of big businesses that have already been doing this.
Seems like a big boon to Shopify.
Yeah, and Shopify merchants. All right, let's talk a little bit about Oppo. They've got a cool new thing for phones.
Well, Oppo demonstrated an under-screen front-facing camera at MWC Shanghai. As you know right now, many of you have a little lump on the back of your phone. And the reason you do, if you want good quality photographs, they kind of need it. So that's what modern phones do. But the display uses custom transparent material with a pixel structure designed to let light through. The sensor is larger than most front-facing cameras with a wider aperture lens. Oppo says touch control and display quality are not compromised with this system. Oppo says it uses software to compensate for haze, glare, color issues. These are all things that normally arise with phones on your or cameras on your phones. And they say they got that all worked out. Oppo also showed off a proprietary decentralized network protocol called Mesh Talk to allow users to chat without using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth for up to 3 kilometers.
Yeah, there's a few other people working on stuff like this. There's been some systems that have been around for like 5 years that do this. And the idea is when you're at a big concert and the cell phone service gets overwhelmed, but you want to chat with your friends or find out where they are, you can still do it because they've got this protocol that will send messages. Sometimes they use Bluetooth for that. This one doesn't. That's really kind of interesting. But the under-screen camera, for those who hate the notch, and I know there's many of you who are out there like, I don't care about bezels, much less a notch. This could get rid of all bezels and notches if it works well. That's a big if, I guess.
Yeah, that is a big if. I'm looking at so I'm taking my case off and I'm looking at my phone and that thing sticks out, I don't know, probably 2 millimeters or something. It's not terrible.
Like the front-facing camera does?
No, the back-facing. So,
no, well, this is only about the front-facing
camera. Right. But I guess my point is like that's never bothered me. So when I turn my phone over and I see a notch on a full screen, does that really bother me? No, not really. People. I guess I've gotten used to it. So if you then said to me, hey, the new version of your phone you're going to get will be notchless because it uses this hot new tech, I'd be pretty stoked, I guess. But it's one of those things where I guess I don't miss it until I have it. And so
you are going to have, I mean, Oppo even admits you're going to have haze, glare, color correction needs when you've got a screen in front of your lens. Basically, it's another lens. It may not be focusing or meant to, but it's something you have to deal with because the light goes through and gets affected by it. So it is all down to whether Oppo's software can compensate for that, whether this works or not.
Right.
And it's certainly never going to be as good as the front-facing camera that doesn't have to go through a screen. But it's the front-facing camera, and people are kind of used to the front-facing camera not being as good as the rear camera anyway.
Yeah, and if you're Apple, you're counting on that a lot more for, face recognition for security and everything else.
Right. Yeah, Apple would never. I don't think they could do Face ID through a screen, so don't expect.
Probably not. And I'm guessing there's other stuff in that notch that will have to be thought about. Like on the one hand, it's like, oh, the camera doesn't have to have all this black around anymore. Great, but then we've also hidden some other stuff up here. What do we do with those now? Right now, there's a speaker there, for example. So maybe we're getting a little bit of a border back after all of this. I don't know, but be curious to see how that thing performs.
Yeah, in-screen fingerprint readers. Some manufacturers don't think they're there yet, but they are out there. Pretty much every Chinese phone has one. This may be the next wave. We'll keep an eye on it. Sources tell the New York Times that Libra Association partners have signed non-binding agreements, meaning they are not obliged to use or promote the token and may leave the association at any point. In other words, to get people on board to become one of those 27 partners, the partners had to be like, we can jump if this turns bad, right? Because we know everyone hates you, Facebook. That seems to be the situation here. Executives from 7 of the association's partners told the Times they are cautious about their membership because of Facebook's association with it and the regulatory scrutiny that Facebook will bring to the project. The sources say some members have not paid the $10 million required of founding members, although this is a little confusing. The Times reports a number of partners said they would decide whether to join the association and make the payment after there is more clarity on how Libra will work. It's unclear to me from the New York Times story if this is members in addition to the 27 or if these are members within the 27, or if there's some people within the 27 that haven't paid the 10 million, or all of them. It's a little unclear, but it does seem like there's a lot of concern about joining this because of Facebook being associated with it. A spokesman for the Libra Association, however, said it's going to have a wait list for people wanting to join to be the first 100 members by the end of this year. Don't you worry, they've had a flood of interest. 2 sources tell the New York Times that JP Morgan, Fidelity, and Goldman Sachs were all approached about joining and were interested, but held off again due to regulatory concerns. And I think it's less about we don't think Libra Association can conform to regulations. It's more about with Facebook associated with this, we know that regulatory agencies are going to be as strict as possible. And it's difficult in uncertain times regarding blockchain and cryptocurrency to get anything through. They're probably not confident that even the Libra Association can get through regulatory scrutiny.
Yeah. And if you're a massive multinational bank or financial institution, this isn't probably your only way to get somewhere cool. Like Facebook being associated with this is already making it kind of a pain. I feel this tells me there's cold feet. Whether or not the article makes clarity out of who's waiting to pay the 10 million because they're trying to wait and see or whatever, if regulations stick or not, like that feels like cold feet to me. So maybe Facebook's association with the project is going to ultimately stall things or slow things or whatever. I still understand so little about this and why Facebook and not somebody else. We're really just talking about a technology and its ability to move money around, and why Facebook is the best position to do that. I don't get it. They haven't really sold me on that.
Well, Facebook is not the best one to administer it, and they admit that. That's why they created the Libra Association and made themselves a very minority part of its governance. Within the next couple of months, we'll have a charter for that if all goes well and be able to scrutinize that a little more. But Facebook is good at creating software and engineering, and they hired some blockchain experts, so they might be the right ones to build the foundational technology for it.
Yeah, I just wonder where the billions of users come in. Like why are what
billions of users is why anybody's even agreeing to deal with this, because they're like, yeah, but we get access to billions of users.
Possibly. Yeah, okay. That's always it, isn't it? That's basically where my brain was going. All right, let's talk about YouTube. YouTube is adding more user controls over recommendations. When you click the 3-dot menu next to a video and choose don't recommend channel or not interested, as well as some other options, that's now going to be a thing. YouTube will also show buttons for categories related to the interests when you scroll, your interest rather, when you scroll up on the home page, as well as when browsing up next. That is to say, the link that says up next. YouTube is also adding information about why you're seeing a video suggestion. The new controls are rolling out to Android and iOS now, with desktop support coming soon.
Man, you couldn't bring this fast enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't watch recommended videos on YouTube. When people talk about going down the YouTube rabbit hole, I generally stay silent because I know it can happen, and it's happened to me once or twice. But quite often I'm like, oh, really? No, I don't want this. And it keeps happening. And so there's no way for me to tell it not to. Now, on the one hand, I'm like, well, do I want? I mean, that is kind of a safety valve that keeps me from wasting time on YouTube, I suppose. But it will be nice to say to those channels that keep being recommended, like, no, you've got it all wrong, YouTube, and I do not want that.
Yeah, I have the same exact problem, except mine's even weirder because I spend a lot of time on YouTube trying to track down weird stuff to play for clips and sounders. And so if I'm looking for some like old 1970s commercials and I want to have some sound clips from these cheesy commercials from yesteryear, I'll go do that. And then what happens is YouTube now thinks that's all I care about. So they just send me these recommendations. I'm like, this is great for if I need to find some more, I suppose, but I'm also pretty adept at searching for what I want. I know what I want when I want it. I'm not going to just be sitting there going, oh, a Burger King ad from 1985. Let's have a look. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Give me more of those. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's my problem too, is I don't use YouTube enough for entertainment for it to really know what's entertaining for me.
Right.
I'm finding things for stories and such a good amount of the time. And Roger, I know this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the kids YouTube app and why you use the main YouTube's app, not the kids app. But you were saying this might be handy for when you watch with your daughter.
Yeah, she likes to watch a lot of music-based videos, and there are a lot of them. Unfortunately, not all of them are of the same quality, but for some reason they get snuck in there because, for example, she likes BTS, which is the Korean K-pop band. And they'll kind of insert one that might have someone just singing their songs, but not very well. No one's going to enjoy that. So it's being able to kind of tweak that so it's not just whatever YouTube's algorithm decides. Hey, you might like it because it has Korean in the title and people are singing, maybe off key and maybe with lewd, lyrics or something. I just having more control over that, it would be so helpful.
Yeah. You want to bring the soul in a Korean way.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. No, I get it. Exactly. Google is rolling out the ability to auto-delete your location history, something it announced back in May. You may remember us talking about it back then. Users have always been able to delete location history or turn it off entirely, but you can now choose to have your location history disappear after 3 months automatically without you having to remember to go out there and flush it out. You can also choose to have it go automatically at 18 months, but Google says it's going to delete everything after 18 months anyway. So if you choose that, it's kind of not necessary, but features rolling out over the next few weeks.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff going down lately. I think that's a good move. I don't really care.
It's not the best move. The best move would give me more fine-tuned control over it, right? The best move would be like, let me choose the period myself. Also, let me choose which services particularly can use my location history instead of like yelling at me, if you turn off your location history, all these services are going to break. But this is better than not having it, right?
Yeah, it'd be cool if they brought to the surface more of that front-facing data in a way that it reminds me of the way I use Gmail a lot. Gmail gives me so many cool little incremental controls through basically a command line interface in the search window to find things, that are in a certain date range or have a combination of keywords or this exact sentence. Like there's all sorts of controls for that. It'd be cool if my data could be seen, extracted, deleted, archived in the same way or recovered in the same way. Like, I know that they don't necessarily want to give us all that, or maybe they don't care. Because honestly, I don't care about all that data. That stuff's fine, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not that concerned about this. There are people I know who are, but giving me more control over that data, deciding what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of, would really be great. I think that may mess with their core business model a little too much if they gave me that power.
Yeah, there's probably an internal debate about how far to go with this sort of thing. And there are good reasons to give your location history to Google. There are benefits to that, especially things like Google Maps and stuff, which as long as you know what it's being used with for, who gets to share it and all of that, I don't have a problem with. But that's usually where it comes down. What we're saying is I'm a boy with love for privacy.
I sometimes have a flirting affair with privacy. All right, let's move on to Vivo. They've demonstrated the Super Flash Charge 120 watt phone charging protocol at the MWC in Shanghai, which you talked about earlier, that can charge a phone in 13 minutes. I like the sound of this. It uses a custom USB-C cable and travel charger tested with a 4,000 milliamp battery. The Xiaomi, I did it wrong, didn't I? Did I get it?
Xiaomi.
I'm glad you had it handy. Thank you. Has charging tech going into mass production that charges in 17 minutes. No word on when Vivo's tech would go into production. I would argue not a minute too soon.
I like fast charging in theory. I've never made it a decision maker. If my phone doesn't charge as fast, don't really like go, wow, I better get the one that charges faster. Like, I don't know. This is cool though. And the faster we can charge phones safely without them exploding, the better. 13 minutes seems pretty good, especially if you're in an airport. The problem is like, can you find a cable? Can you get the right power source to do this? All of that sort of thing. But sounds like it's promising, although it's not coming to a Vivo phone anytime soon.
No, I can tell you this though, from a little experience. So the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, the latest one, I picked up and passed the older one to one of my kids, and I noticed a distinct difference in charging. The old one uses just a regular lightning cable, and the new ones use USB-C, and I don't know what the wattage is or what the amperage is or any of that, but it's like the one they used to charge MacBooks now. It's that sort of thing. And it's so much faster of a charge that I guess I wouldn't say it made a purchase decision for me, but I do think now I feel like I've gotten used to that, to the point that I would now look at that feature on a new device and say, how fast does it charge? Like I would actually consider that as part of my buying than I would in the past. But I'm with you. It's kind of it's a small thing. And if it's 14 minutes or 17 minutes or 2 hours, probably not going to make that big of a difference. When we get to a place one day where it's literally walk in the room and it's charging while we're walking around, or we plug it into something and it's done in 5 minutes, we're nowhere near that. But if we ever get to that, well, then we can talk about that being a feature. But right now it's a little bit secondary. It's almost like I know the device I want. Oh, and luckily it charges fast. That's kind of the...
Yeah. It's what we want is longer battery life. We want a new technology that means our battery can last for weeks and weeks, right?
Right.
And fast charging is a way to go, well, since you can't get that, how about we charge it up real fast in between? Yeah. Does that make it right?
I want both. That's what I want, both.
Yeah. Oxford Economics estimates that up to 20 million manufacturing jobs could be replaced by automation by 2030. Each new industrial robot is estimated to eliminate 1.6 manufacturing jobs, mostly affecting the least skilled regions of the world, which unfortunately also tend to have higher unemployment and weaker economies. So this is not a good situation. Now, workers leaving manufacturing tend to move to other jobs. It's not, remember, jobs aren't like, there's not like just a box of jobs. And if we eliminate one, well, now we have fewer jobs. Jobs can be created and destroyed. So if a worker leaves a manufacturing job, that worker will tend to move to something like transport or construction or maintenance, office administration. Those, however, are kind of next on the tier below manufacturing for being, guess what, vulnerable to automation. So you may find that, I lost my manufacturing job and now I can't get a construction job. I can't get a transport job because those are also being automated. However, the good news is automation should also create as many jobs as it eliminates, according to this Oxford Economics study. Yes, it's going to get rid of a lot of these manufacturing jobs, a lot of these other kinds of jobs, but it will create new jobs. That's a part that gets left out of the headlines, is automation will actually have opportunities to create new jobs that you couldn't afford to pay people for before, or weren't necessary before. Jobs which require compassion, creativity, social intelligence, according to Oxford Economics, will continue to be done by humans. And a rise in robot installations of 30% worldwide will also help the economy. They estimate that 30% rise in the use of robots would create $5 trillion in additional GDP. So it's going to be better for the economy. It's not going to cause a net loss in jobs, but there is a problem. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The displaced worker can get the new jobs if they have the right skills. But as we mentioned, the displaced workers usually have the right skills to go into another job that is also at the lower tier of wage generation. It's also probably vulnerable to automation. So can people losing their jobs to automation get the new jobs that are created by automation is a big question. And will these economic benefits, this $5 trillion, actually benefit the people who are being displaced by automation? Those are your two big questions to focus on. China and South Korea have seen the greatest growth in robots between 2011 and 2016. Japan actually saw a decline in the use of robots in automation in automotive factories, although a rise in non-automotive situations. But yeah, we're seeing big rises in the use of robots worldwide, specifically in China and South Korea. China like crazy. But we're not seeing a lot of good plans on, and here's what we're going to do with those workers to get them ready for the jobs that will be created.
Yeah, every time this comes up or a related topic like this on the show, it reminds me of that conversation we had about Lotus 123 coming out and all my accounting friends freaking out, saying this is going to destroy my accounting job, or this is going to ruin my firm, or this is going to change that industry so hard that it will become all computers doing everybody's taxes and we're all out of a job. There's an entire industry going away. And instead what happened was the exact opposite. Huge amounts of new jobs were created in and around that kind of automation. And so I'm actually really bullish on the idea that when these sorts of things happen, the displacement is real and the anxiety for that is real. And there's a reason why concern should be there. But the idea that, like you said, there's a box of jobs and we're running out of them is just a fallacy. It doesn't work that way. And I think that there will probably be a lot more left over at the end of this than there was going into it, and things that we don't even know about. Like, it's easy for us to go, oh, there'll be new jobs. We don't know what they are yet, but they'll be there. That's absolutely the truth. We don't know. And just ask anybody who went through the accounting world through the 80s and made it through the Lotus 123 years, and then the Excel years, and then where we are now years. They'll all tell you that I had no idea that these opportunities were going to be there. They just don't know.
Yeah, we've been through this before, right? Like it shouldn't be difficult for us to imagine new jobs being created because we industrialized, right? And suddenly there were a lot of jobs involving looms and axes and pulling carts that were gone, that we didn't need anymore, right? But we found new jobs for people to do. We created new jobs because of the industry, right? Because we didn't need somebody to pull the cart anymore. Now we could have them do deliveries or inventory, and we created factories and all of this sort of thing, right? And the beat goes on. Where you see the difference is with industrialization, we had a bad situation where the folks who were displaced by industrialization didn't find a nice, easy path to the newly created jobs. And thus you had riots, the rise of the Communist Party, anarchists, labor unions being formed. I'm not saying these are bad things. I'm saying you had a lot of things that had to arise to address that fact. And sometimes they were bad things. In accounting, you didn't see a whole lot of accountant riots, right? There was a better path for people like, we don't need you to do this anymore, but we do need product managers and customer service reps and things like that had transferable skills.
Well, and I think that's a very important point, is that not all skill sets are fungible, right? Someone who has been a miner or in the petroleum industry doesn't necessarily have the same skill set that someone would need in an engineer, or someone who needs, does some sort of customer representative or anything. So I think this points out that there should be a comprehensive policy of how we can transfer these people over, if they want to be transferred over. Like, is it simple retraining, or is it something more comprehensive? And I think that's where a lot of the discussion, seems to be, there's a detachment.
Yeah, I think what I like about the Oxford Economics report is it's saying, hey, everybody, this isn't the accounting automation. This is closer to the industrial automation. And this time we have a chance to get ahead of it so that we don't screw it up, because they had never done industrial automation before, so they didn't really realize it's coming. We realize it's coming. Do we want to prevent bad things from happening or not? It's up to us. Here we go.
Yeah. It's a fascinating thing. I feel like it's been going on since we could pick up a rock and bang out something with another rock, and we're just gonna have to deal with another one. And I think it's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. There'll be outliers. There's always outliers.
I'll put it this way: I think we could make it okay.
Yeah, we can help make it okay. How about that?
I hope we will.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, be sure to subscribe to dailytechheadlines.com. And thanks to all those who participate in our subreddit. You can submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com and facebook.com/groups/dailytechnewsshow. I can't wait for Sarah to come back and help us out with the mailbag, but we've been getting some good stuff from you, so keep it coming. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. This person writes in and says, I want to offer a compliment. That's COMPLE, like a supplement and an addition, not a rebuttal, to Chad's email from Monday. I'm an IT auditor, CISA, CISSP, with a public accounting firm. We work with many clients that still have XP and Server 2003 running. While some take appropriate steps, air gap, firewall, lock operating system files, etc., I estimate 80+% don't do anything until we point it out to them. I have yet to see a single vulnerability scan showing the MS17-010 patch was applied to these XP and Server 2003 machines that fixes Eternal Blue, the vulnerability so bad that Microsoft released a patch for unsupported systems. Most recently, we pointed out that our new manufacturing client had a couple of Server 2003 systems running. They disconnected them from the network, but got upset when we included it as a finding in our report. Sure, it's fixed now, but the fact that it hasn't been patched in 4 years says a lot about the competency of an IT department. I don't mean to rant, just want the audience to know that these risks can be mitigated if you have good IT people, but like any other job, there are lots of people who don't know or don't care how to do things properly. That's why you have audits, parentheses, shameless plug. Love the show.
That's a cool job. IT auditor. I hadn't really even considered that there'd be such a thing, but that makes sense. Go in there, make sure those guys are doing it right, keeping everything up to date. Like he's doing the Lord's work, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think we got a great perspective from Chad, and this person could be a lady. I don't know, Scott.
Yeah.
Who both said, like, Chad was saying, hey, on our side, sometimes we want to do the right thing, and the bosses and the managers, drag their heels and dig in their feet. And the auditor here is saying, yeah. And then sometimes the auditor's like, hey, you really need to do this thing. And the company's like, yeah, we probably should, but I don't know. I guess we'll just pay you anyway. Yeah. Well, thank you, Scott Johnson, for joining us today, as always on Wednesdays, or mostly always on Wednesdays. What do you got going on?
Well, it is my pleasure, as always, as my dad used to say. Look, I've always got something cool going on that isn't the Daily Tech News Show. That is a cool thing. But when I'm not doing that, head on over to frogpants.com. Check out all the shows that are available to you. I've got monthly, weekly shows. I even have a daily show, a morning show that happens every day. Tom comes on Wednesdays on there and talks about the tech of the day before we even get to this thing here in the afternoon. So do check it out. That's at frogpants.com. For everything else you're looking for from me, you can find it over there on Twitter. I'm at Scott Johnson.
Now, we are getting close to the end of the month, 4 days until the end of June, which means we need 13 more people. Lucky 13 of you to join in on the Patreon and help us get to the goal of one more patron than last month. That is always our goal. We just want to get more of you in the tent to realize, like, hey, there's some cool benefits. You get a commercial-free feed. You get some bonus episodes. You get access to the Discord where you can have some fun chatting with people, listen to the show live in the Discord. All of that sort of stuff is available at patreon.com/DTNS. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We're live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 20:30 UTC. You can find out more about that at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. Back tomorrow with Justin Robert Young. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Nice.
Good show.
I agree. I really enjoyed it today.
Scott will tell you what he wants, what he really, really wants. It's been suggested as a title.
I mean, this is intrinsically true, but I'm not sure it's a great title.
Also suggested is nobody likes you, Facebook. There's also Scott knows what he wants when he wants it.
Is it weird that Facebook annoys me, but Oculus is awesome? That's a weird thing, right?
No, I mean, it's not that weird, right? It's those are different divisions of a company. This is actually one of the things I've been combating with Libra Association is like, yeah, Facebook's setting it up, but if it's allowed to continue the way they've set it up, they won't have much to do with it. And there are different people running companies. Turns out are not one person. They're not like little clones of Mark Zuckerberg running around doing everything.
You're right about that.
Zuckerberg clone.
Mm-hmm.
Robots took your jobs, took your gerbs.
Yeah, robots took your gerbs, is what Ace Boom wrote.
South Park.
They haven't taken our Justin Robert Young.
No one takes gerbs.
Nobody like box of jobs. Yeah.
Sure.
It's not
Box of jobs. I really like that analogy that you make about it not being a box of jobs, and it's a good title too.
So box
cover
of
your
jobs.
assets.
Oh, wait.
Not your typical camera location. Get it? No.
That's good stuff.
Partners can leave Libra if scales tip. Nice. I'm just looking through the rest of these. Who doesn't like fast charging? Flirting with privacy. Yeah, box of jobs. I like box of jobs.
Box of jobs.
And then GDI is Tom's your uncle.
I like it.
All right. Copy that.
And Tom's your uncle. We've got a new show.
If Tom had a cabin, we could call it.
I'd cabin in the morning.
You could call it the Merritt Cottage.
All over this land.
There you go.
I'd cabin out danger. I'd cabin out warning, and I'd cabin out love.
Oh,
my brothers and my sisters.
And you'd watch Cabin Boy over and over.
I would continually watch Cabin Boy on repeat.
When I return, I shall become a cabin man.
Can I admit something embarrassing?
You've never seen Cabin Boy?
No, I've seen Cabin Boy.
Oh.
My pipes are clean. These pipes are clean. No, the embarrassing thing is I started watching The Phantom Menace last night.
Oh.
Why is that embarrassing?
That's okay.
As I'm watching The Phantom Menace. I tried to hide it from my wife. It's kind of like alcoholism. Like,
yeah. Is it? I thought honestly, I think that the Clone Wars has the worst of the two in terms of dialogue of the three.
Oh no, The Phantom Menace is my least favorite of all of them.
Yeah, it's garbage.
I feel like it should be. My past reviews of The Phantom Menace have been. It should probably be about 30 minutes long. Like, there's just so many. But I didn't get all the way through it. Before Eileen came back, and I had to quickly hit the menu button. But the part that I saw was up to their escape to Tatooine. So they've landed on Tatooine, but they haven't got out, right? And I'm like, this is all good. This is all good Star Wars stuff with two things just in that stretch of the movie. Just redub the Trade Federation people and Jar Jar with different voices that aren't insulting in various ways, and suddenly you've got a pretty decent movie up to that point. I don't even think you have to remove Jar Jar. I think he could, if he just talked in a way that wasn't irritating, he could be just an alien foil who's like, hey, you want to come with me? I'm from this hidden city. That could help, right?
I'm in agreement. I think he's just done wrong. And if the movie around him was better, it's not that bad.
I mean, his movements are a little quirky, but it's really the way he talks that bothers me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I find the fact that Anakin is 8 or 10 in that.
I hate that.
The worst.
I tried to make it clear, like I haven't got to that point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, I know that's also going to grate on me.
Like if they made him a teenager, that would have been fine. But like they made him a kid, and they do all the dumb things they do with kids in sci-fi movies.
Well, and that's the thing. I guess if he had been the age he is, that would have been fine if they hadn't done all the dumb things they do.
Like, woohoo! I accidentally saved everyone. It's like,
Yeah.
That's not good. The Jake Lloyd kid, I feel bad for him because he's really
I happen to have a chance a cube.
he's bad. Oh, those guys. What are we doing?
I'm a Toydarian.
So my thing is,
Italian stereotype.
apparently they're immune to the Jedi mind trick. Are they immune to any of the other Jedi or like the Force things?
Yeah, they're not part of the Force.
Well, like, so this is my thing. Wouldn't the Emperor, wouldn't Darth, is it Darth Sidious or not Darth Sidious? Darth Maul? No, wait. Emperor Palpatine. Just hire a bunch of them and just go around whacking Jedi without having to create this grand army of the Republic.
Well, because they have those weird feet.
Oh.
You know, the Sith are very prejudiced in that way.
Yeah, but the Sith weren't originally human, right? Wasn't that the whole thing?
It's really hard to get a intergalactic shoe contract.
Now, of course, I'm getting into the expanded universe, which, as we all
The
know,
tax on shoes has caused a dispute.
no longer applies, which is, I think, a shame. Which is actually, part of it is kind of lame, but the other part is like, yeah, I kind of agree because some of the later stuff was sort of stupid.
That's actually the trade dispute between the Trade Federation and Naboo is shoe supplies.
There you go.
But do the Gungans need shoes?
No, it's for the Toydarians. The Toydarian shoe trade route has been cut off.
I'm gonna get in trouble. My boy.
Anyway, I am just part of it was because I went to Galaxy's Edge. Part of it's because I'm excited for Rise of Skywalker. I watched The Force Awakens and Last Jedi last week. Rewatched those. Had a great time watching both of them. So I'm like, all right.
I'm still.
That movie has three cool things. It has pod racing is cool in concept. I'm not saying the whole scene's great, but there are things about pod racing I like.
You wanted to do Spartacus, yes.
I like that. I don't like anything else until we get. I think Qui-Gon Jinn is a cool character.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, that's what I meant. What I said.
Whatever.
Ku Klux Klan. He's great.
Whoa.
Oh, I've gone too far. I take it back. And then, what's the other thing I like?
Darth Maul.
Oh, Darth Maul is cool, and the best villain they had in those prequels, and they killed him too early, and that was dumb.
But he didn't die, as we later find out.
Oh yeah, but that's what may as well be. He's not in the movie anymore. He's not in that trilogy.
Not everything exists in the realm of the movie.
That's true. You're not wrong about that.
I think that's one of my complaints about the expanded universe is, or deletion of the expanded universe from kind of like being part of the regular canon is like, that's what sustained a lot of the fandom for like a decade, 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I look at the prequels as made-for-TV movie versions of what really happened. And so if they came in one day and said, oh, the prequels aren't canon anymore, we're remaking canon versions, I'd be totally fine with
that. I think the best part of the prequels is the Pod Racer game on N64.
The Pod Racer game was dope. It turned out that was the most enjoyable merchandise game that rolled out of that series of
the arcade game was good too. I think maybe the N64 game was based on it, but it was great.
Between that and Rogue Squadron 3D, my N64 was just Star Wars'd out.
Rogue Squadron on the GameCube was the only reason why I bought the GameCube, because I wanted to play that game so bad.
You should have wanted Wind Waker, because that was a hell of a game too. But
I played it. I enjoyed. The thing is, I'm not that attached to the whole Zelda series. Franchise. But when you're going through the trench in your X-wing fighter, that's pretty dope. It's like
pretty dope.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that! Dr. Nixon subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you, DRNXN.
And they have a version of Rogue Squadron on Steam, but I just haven't tried it. I think it's Steam.
Yeah, that's the old N64. They need to do the GameCube version for PC. But they won't.
Is that what you're talking about the N60? Oh, right.
The N64.
What they need to do is just come out with a whole new one.
Yeah, they need a TIE fighter style. They need something, man.
Yeah,
it needs to be in space again, and they're taking too long to do something like that.
It's just so rich. It's so fun. All the TIE Fighter versus X-wing games and like the
those were great.
It's just that's really where they need to go into and stop with those other crap.
I can't remember which one of those they had, but at the YouTube space when Eileen worked there, they had a cabinet that you could sit in and play.
Was that there was a Star Wars trilogy arcade game That you played all 3 different parts.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
I remember that. Yeah, that was they had an arcade game that did that.
Stuff.
Yep, they had an arcade game that did that, and they also had a Super NES game that kind of had a mix of all 3. Man, good Star Wars game. That's what I need. I hope Fallen Empire is decent.
Is
right
that,
now, it's
is that an FPS?
That's what. No, it's a third-person thing, and they're working on it still. It was announced at E3 officially, or just before. It's got lots of potential, but also a lot of questions and issues.
Star Wars games are so uneven. Like there's some really good ones, but then you get like what was the one where you're like you were raised by Darth Vader to become like the Force Unleashed or something.
Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
which is a fun game, but the controls were wonky on.
It's kind of wonky, and
out on.
The story sort of kind of wandered a little bit.
Yeah,
because part of it is they try to fit it into the canon, but then they go like, you got to tell the side story, and all these characters have to be in it because that's what people want. It's like, okay, sure.
Have you all seen the meme going around of the cinema board? That here I'll try to. How do I capture
the cinema board?
Share screen. Here we go. You know how on a cinema they'll have the board outside that says what's playing sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
The marquee.
So this one is Toy Story, Men in Black, Godzilla, Aladdin, and Child's Play.
Oh my gosh!
And people are doing all kinds of memes like. Tom Taylor here wrote, "This is an especially cruel trick to play on time travelers."
That's hilarious.
Going to 2019.
That's nuts.
Men in Black. Is that movie even doing well?
That movie's
Toy Story does say Toy Story 4, but if you're not looking close, and the rest of them just say Men in Black, Godzilla, Aladdin, and Child's Play.
Godzilla. I love that movie. It's
you
really
don't.
fun. It's fun.
The Matthew Broderick movie?
No, the one that just came out, King of
no, I'm fine with the new ones. The new ones are fine. That Broderick thing I watched for Film Sack.
Oh, that was horrible.
It was bad, dude.
Actually, no, I'll say this. If you're bored and it's already on Netflix or whatever streaming service you have, just watch it.
Yeah, I guess if I'm bored.
You know what I mean? Like, if you just need something up to keep you company, it's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay attention, and it's the same movie.
That does not bode that well.
It's a great movie to vacuum to.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like, you don't need to pause it. You need to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. When you get back, it's the same movie.
Wow.
They did so many things. What was
Title
it?
screen
Roland
to
Emerson?
credits.
I get it. He directed Independence Day, which was an uneven movie, but it was a blockbuster. And they gave him the reins to Godzilla.
I'm in trouble with people with Independence Day. I really dislike it. And,
I don't like it because Bill Pullman in no movie should be the savior of humanity.
I know a lot of people who don't like Independence Day. I don't feel like that's a controversial position.
Oh, really? I feel every time I say that, I feel like I'm getting heat from somebody.
Yeah, I actually like it fine, but I definitely know plenty of people who also are like, ugh, I hate that movie.
I love that movie, but I understand that it's a guilty pleasure. It's one of the things that I don't like it because it's
that's kind of how
the movie is just fun to watch. So.
It's rewatching it over. It becomes almost, and I didn't notice it when I was younger when I watched it, but the amount of jingoism is actually cringeworthy. Like they put that's like them. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, there means less jingoism, more Djangoism.
Maybe
Django in it.
Mm-hmm.
Needed more Django. Need more Fets in general. More Mandalorians.
Yeah. And be, you know what it would be if they did that. Of course, Fet accompli.
You were setting that up, Tom.
That's good stuff.
You were setting that up.
I wasn't. I didn't really realize that was going to happen.
It's a Fet house. That's what they should have a sitcom.
It's a Fet house.
Damn my Fet.
We're just the Fets.
Damn the Fets.
We're your local neighborhood bounty hunters.
I like it.
Actually, you know what they should do is just do like one where like the bounty hunter, but do it like like either a reality show or like where they're chasing down. Like I'm trying to trace down this last of the Jedi. He has a cybernetic right hand. I have to check out all the places he's been to.
It's like The Great Escape. Wait, no, not The Great Escape. What am I talking about? What's the one where everybody's on the road chasing after something? It's a reality show.
The great, not the Great Race.
Yeah,
that's it. The great, not Great Race.
The
Amazing Race. The Amazing Race.
Give me a synonym for great. A synonym for great.
Amazing.
There you go. Nailed it.
Cannonball Run, right? I give credit to Thrumwald. He wrote that.
I would watch a Cannonball Run, but done as a reality show. I'd totally do that. I mean, maybe that's what Amazing Race is.
Cannonball Run is based on a real thing.
It's called the Cannonball Run.
No, the Gumball Rally, right?
Yeah, Gumball Rally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
so
cool.
It's a rally around the country, and the reason why it's so not underground, but you don't try to advertise it too much, is that a rally is a race on public roads, and to win a race, you typically have to drive above the speed limit. So a lot of people blow through states, and they'll do 80 or 90 to catch up. And then I guess as part of the Gumball Rally, you show up at a track, you get timed, and then you have to do a track course, and then you get back on the road to get to the next venue.
Thanks for the subscription, Nate Manahan.
Thanks, Nate Manahan.
You're the best.
We love you.
We pick you to win the Gumball Rally.
Damn straight.
Chew on this.
We should do a podcaster rally.
Let's do it.
We race through the desert.
Let's not do that. I think I would lose terribly.
And you have to drive under the speed limit. We'll put rate limiters on everybody's car.
Yeah,
so it's safe.
I'm just a very
You have to hack your GPS to provide shorter routes. That's how you win.
I'm a very
it's like making the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
I'm just not very. What's the word? I'm just not very
drivey.
Not drivey. I'm not very competitive. Like I feel like
in that respect.
In that respect, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't like to race.
No, I don't know.
I don't want a foot race though. I only drive race, and usually the driving I want to do is in a video game. But
yeah, that's like golf for me. If I'm golfing, it's in a game. That's just how it is. I don't like regular golf. I also don't like playing hockey. I like watching it, but I don't like playing it. So I'd much rather play. In a video game, I do, but not in real life.
I used to love playing hockey. I haven't played hockey in forever, but yeah, I loved playing hockey as a kid. I think we should go. Is there a golf MMO?
No, but there are lots of golf games that are basically like,
should be a golf MMO where you can just show up, meet your friends, and go golfing.
I mean, the kind of like all golf games are kind of have that, and then you have progression.
Online play with your friends. I'm saying like you should get the whole experience, right?
Yeah.
You could have the inn, which would just be the 19th hole, right? The lodge. You could have all that stuff too.
Yeah, you could actually probably do that now that you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Just network a bunch of those driving range.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Just network them all and have a little VR screens on the side or whatever.
And then have like a meeting place that you code that's the lodge or the 19th hole or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can use your points to buy Arnold Palmer's.
I want one right now.
Go out on the links, but he'd hang out at the club. If it was a golf MMO, though, there you could drink virtual Arnold Palmer's. Why is that so hard to say?
Hard to say. Arnold Palmer.
Because I've had too many Arnold Palmer.
I mean, you don't know that we're not living in that now. So
that was Second Life, and it was bad. Second Life was terrible.
No, the Sims really did do that. Like you could grocery shop and weed the garden. Oh, and you just like wander from set to set. Yeah, now that the infrastructure for MMO is not quite so complex to set up, maybe we can get some more ridiculous MMOs.
Yeah, more VR ones would be cool.
Mm. That's like the VR stuff, right? Yeah.
Scott just pulled a Tom.
I went and got Arnold Palmer.
What did Scott do?
I went and got Arnold Palmer. Look at that right there. There's Arnie.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I had one in the other room.
Arnold Palmer. Light. Why is it light? Does that mean the lemonade doesn't have as much sugar?
It is half and half light. Yes, there's less sugar in it, but I don't think it's replaced with anything. Let's see. Yeah, it's just low sugar. Yeah, he died. Lemonade and iced tea. Yeah, he was killed in a Hertz rent-a-car. Just kidding. That's not true at all.
What? Well, because he used to do Hertz commercials.
Yeah, he did. Him and OJ, they were like 10. Yep.
He would leap the gate to get to his. Yeah.
I would totally follow Arnold Palmer on Twitter, but I will not follow OJ Simpson.
No, I hear enough about it as it is.
What could you possibly say that I need to hear? Like, what could he? What to what end would I follow that?
Secret recipe for an Arnold Palmer.
Oh crap! I like.
I mean, they have services that you can schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna
go and do it yourself
for like 10 years from now. It says, "Hey, 10 years ago, I was drinking an Arnold Palmer."
An Arnold Palmer.
The problem with that is that you'll forget that you did it.
Arnold Palmer.
The problem with that is if you forget that you did it in 10 years, you'll see a tweet from yourself like, "Hey, what?"
A journey begins with a single step. There you go.
4, 8, 12. Yeah. 4, 8, 12, 15, 32, 40, 41. You have to put the little lucky numbers in there.
1,000 miles begins with 4 steps also. June 2029. Let's see if I can schedule something for June 2029. How far ahead can you schedule on TweetDeck? That's today's lesson. June 2024 is as far as I could go. Should I make it 5 years ago? 5 years ago on Good Day Internet, I said I should tweet about Arnold Palmer. So here you go, me.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh, me.
Why are you sorry?
No, I accidentally I tweeted myself. I muted myself because I needed to add the mid-roll.
Oh.
I apologize. I said that wouldn't be great if after you planned after you were deceased for someone to carry on your tweeting, so you would have like years and years of tweets, and maybe your wife or whoever you've entrusted could roll those out slowly, perhaps on a weekly, daily, or monthly basis.
You don't even have to have somebody else do them.
Well, no, because this is where automation will be haphazard. You just don't want it thrown out willy-nilly because you don't know what happens in the future. If you entrust it to someone you actually know, they can say, well, this is inappropriate. We won't use this one. You know what I mean? It needs a little. It needs a little bit of human intuition.
This is why automation won't replace all jobs. I see what you're saying. That's a good example. I just scheduled that tweet. So 5 years from now, folks. Actually, it'll be June 24th. They wouldn't let me do June 26th, but June 24th of 2024, I will be tweeting about Arnold Palmer.
You got caught up in the leap days, probably.
Leap days.
Yeah, that's probably
for
it.
a better night's sleep.
Well, between now and
a better night's leap.
Yeah, between now and June 24th, 2024, there'll be 2 leap days. So
yeah, that's probably it. That's the 2 days I'm short. All right, gents. Thanks for being with us. Sarah will be back tomorrow. Any last words to tell the folks of Good Day Internet Land at twitch.tv/gooddayinternet?
Watch out where the Huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow.
as Frank Zappa has instructed us.
Ah, Tom knew the reference. Very nice.
Don't hold it in too long because it actually is bad for you.
Amos?
I agree.
Have a good day, everybody.
All right.